In this video, I'm going to explain how I used AI when building iOS app. So to briefly explain what AI tool that I used Claude, especially the Pro plan, and I used a model of Sonnet 4.5, and I used it with the built-in function in Xcode, version was 26.2. So as you can see here, I use it as the built-in AI function feature in Xcode so that it understands the project context, like the entire project context of my app. So how I use AI? As I said, I use the Xcode AI feature, and Claude understands the context of my project, and it directly applies changes to my file. So I don't need to actually copy and paste the changes that's suggested by AI. It does it by itself. And in terms of coding, my main role was to write a prompt to AI and review the code that AI was writing, and then make any necessary changes. And instead of just coding on the editor, I spent more time on setting up necessary infrastructure, especially this project uses Firebase authentication and Firebase Firestore as the database. So I had to do it by myself and testing. So I need to get some sample data, write some sample data, and then I use AI to write some sample data because that doesn't require much information. It can does it better than me, but I had to test it by myself and to see what it's actually behaving as intended. And then some sort of debugging when Xcode or my code cannot do it. Instead of figuring out, I spent less time on figuring out what is the best UI design or how to implement a certain animation. So that was mostly my AI usage. And in my app techniques that the AI employed was, first of all, it definitely made my UI look professional. So I'm pretty sure I should have spent more time if I did it by myself. But with basic structures, it makes it really appealing. I was really impressed. And then it generates sample data pretty well. And also, especially I got help when I implemented these map features. So this is more user friendly because it updates the map based on the user location, and also based on when the user changes the camera location, it's adjusted accordingly. So this is super helpful because without it, user experience might not be as good as it could be. So what worked well, I think better UI and error handling using authentication, because my app uses Firebase authentication, and it gives me the whole list of errors that Firebase authentication can throw, and then the ways to handle those. So when you do it by yourself, it could be you might have missed something, but that was quite thorough. But what didn't work well was, of course, you need to do the project integration by yourself. So when you when you don't have any experience on this might be hollow. And testing, of course, you need to do it by yourself because Claude doesn't know how it should behave, right? And when the project gets too bigger, the user needs to manually apply the changes suggested by the AI. So it says it's difficult for AI to revert changes once they made. It's usually okay when your project size is small, but when it gets more and more complex, it suggests you to do it manually, and it gives you proposals, some code snippets. So advice for future students on effectively using AI as a partner or learning tool when developing Swift UI apps. So first of all, you need to have background knowledge to understand what AI is doing to your project. So I think this really worked because I knew how the general app usually looks like. So when it gives me the code, I was able to read and understand what it's doing. And instead of figuring out the color or the width size by myself, it gives it the best UI, but I was able to understand how it works. And then the structures, in terms of structure, I was able to prompt it better because I knew I wanted to have MVVM model view model structure, so that when I code structure the codes, the code base was really neat based on the structure. And then I was kind of surprised because AI was really good at debugging too. So when it gives you the code, it can generate it will give it might create some errors or warnings, and then when you give these errors back to AI, it fixes quite well. So I was kind of surprised by that because usually AI wasn't usually good at these kind of things, but not 100% though. If there are errors that AI cannot handle, and that will be your turn to actually go in and to look at the context and then figure out how to fix it. And then I would suggest build bit by bit because AI is good at writing tons of code at one time, but as the code base gets larger, it will be difficult for you to understand. And once you get loose of what it is doing, it will be extremely hard for you to actually make changes or make adjustments that you want to make. So ask AI to build a certain feature. Don't when you're learning, I think this is better approach. If your aim is to get the final product as fast as possible, this might be not a strategy. But if you're using it as a partner or learning tool, then you should go with this approach. So you build it bit by bit because in this case, it will be easy for you to understand it, and then you add more features to it, and this way, you can definitely learn better. And I would highly recommend to learn how to code with AI too. So I before using Claude. Claude AI, I was kind of pessimistic about it because I thought it will hinder my learning experience, and I'm not 100% sure how it kind of helped or hindered my learning process. But I'm certainly sure that I will never be able to deliver this kind of output without the help of AI in this limited time. So now my mind has kind of changed. So if your goal is to learn the details, then you should study with without AI. But if your goal is to make what's your product as fast as you can, and then with the help of AI, with better user experience and UI, user interface, then I think you should learn how to work with AI too. So here is a dilemma, and I understand it and I feel it as well. But my experience with Claude in this project was overall very pleasant. So yeah, I hope it helps, and that's the end.